Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Got an exciting event coming up on Tuesday, March 10th. That'll be my next edition of the Singer-Songwriter Storytelling Showcase happening out at Naked Vine in Chesterfield, Missouri. I'll bring along Jonathan Brady of the Jonathan Brady Band, Vince Puzo of Morning Mountain, and Haley Woolbright. This will be a 7 o'clock start. All three writers sitting on stools, sharing stories and songs acoustically in a listening room setting. I'm having a whole lot of fun with these, and you should come check it out. If you haven't been out there yet, Naked Vine is a great little spot. You've been hearing me talk about them for a while now. They're really good friends of mine. All kinds of great selection of wine, whiskey, tequila, and local craft beers. They do music on live music on Friday and Saturday. They do a vinyl spin every Thursday night now. And then on Friday this week, March 6th, you'll have out there Hot Corn. And this is 3/4 of the Mighty Pines, if you don't know. So check that out. Hot Corn, Friday night, March 6th. And on Saturday, March 7th, Rogers and Niehaus will be out there. You can find all this information and more at nakedvine.net. Be sure to follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also want to give a big thanks to Heil Sound for their support. Check out Heil microphones and the rest of their gear. And yeah, I'm really loving this PR40 they gave me. It's a wonderful microphone. So get yourself one today at heilsound.com. And also a big thank you to Roughneck Beard Company and American Rambler for their continued support. You can find them located on Manchester in the middle there of Maplewood. And you can shop 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com. Use my code RPP15 for an exclusive 15% off any of your purchase. And if you haven't been over there yet, you're missing out. They got all sorts of fantastic grooming products for your beard needs or beyond. They've beard oils, beard balms, junk powder. They got all kinds of goodies over there. Check it out. Again, roughneckbeardcompany.com. That's it for me, everybody. Again, thank you for the continued support. Thank you for listening. I've got a lot of hats. I've got these stocking caps. There's still a couple left of those. I've got a couple ball caps, T-shirts. Let me know if you're interested in any merch. If you got some ideas for the show, some whatever it is, feel free to hit me up on the email, rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you, what you're listening to, and everything else. So, but thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.
Podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hi, I'm Colleen Duhart, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today at Lotown Studios with Colleen Duhart.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This is cool. I'm glad we finally made this work and
Me too.
can hang out. And we have a special guest
with us also this evening.
My trusty cohort, my father and bestie. Who are you?
I'm Dean Duhart.
I'm his spawn.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Let's I want to pull that just a little closer.
Oh, okay. Is that good?
Yeah, that's
Well-
better. There we go. Now
All
we're
right.
Now we're getting you in there.
I'm here.
But this is cool. I'm glad that it worked out. We're here hanging out at Lotown, which they've kind of become a friend of the show. We've done a couple over here now. So shout out to Lenny letting us use the space for this evening.
Yes.
Thanks, Lenny.
Yeah, check out lotownstudios.com, I believe. But anyway, like I said, we've kind of been running in the same circle for a long time. We've messaged back and forth. We've talked about different projects and trying to figure out how we can collaborate and do all these different things. And we're both running crazy lifestyles and crazy schedules.
Yes.
But we finally made it work. We're here today, and we got a brand new EP to talk about. We got a lot of exciting things. But we just recently, officially met, I guess, at a oyster bar. I think y'all played maybe that earlier in the evening or something like that. Maybe?
Yeah. It was on a Sunday before Kim Massey. Yep. So that was kind of cool to be able to say that we kind of sort of opened for the queen herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. I feel like we had actually known each other before that. But I guess that was the first time we met in person. So that's cool.
Yeah. That was, that's one of my favorite spots for sure.
Yes.
I spend a lot of my time down there whenever I can, between working there, but also when I'm not working, I just enjoy hanging out because it's
It's the Mecca.
yeah. It's
We were so grateful when we did get on their schedule a year or so ago. And we're there every few months now. But that's one of those places that I feel like kind of growing up, I guess, or it was just always the bucket list venue.
Place to play. Yeah.
And so now I get to do that with my dad, and it's really cool.
Yeah. That I often get people asking me about how to get in there, and it's tricky because there's so many people, like you're saying, it's a bucket list thing. It's so many artists around town, that's where they want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to get into sometimes. So
Yeah.
but that's really great that you're getting to be a part of that, and like I said, getting to share the stage or perform the same night as someone like a Kim Massey or something,
legend.
Yeah, that's really special. So but as like I said, that's when we first met. That night we started talking and we've made it official. And but
I was like, I do exist.
yeah, right.
And you do too.
but so I kind of before that though, I'd been following along online, seeing your schedules and stuff. You two playing out a lot around town, so I kind of had a fair idea. But that's what's fun about this show, is having the chance where I can actually sit down and talk and get to know a little bit more about what you're doing. And
Yeah.
So that's what I love about doing the show. We can actually have real conversations with people instead of just talking at a bar and stuff like that. So
It's cool that you still shared our stuff in your shout outs and schedules without even knowing us. So that's amazing.
you.
Props to you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, I just I try to be all inclusive and very supportive of everybody
awesome.
out doing work around town. So if I know about it, I'll be sure to put it on the list. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. But like I said, I mentioned you have an EP, which is coming out here soon. We did do a little bit of acoustic jamming, kind of give everybody a little sneak peek of what you've been up to and stuff. So I wouldn't get into that. But before we get too far, I do want to kind of dial back. I guess always from St. Louis.
Yes,
Yeah.
born and raised. I did go away to school. I went to SEMO, and then I wound up back here.
Yeah.
The I guess dream, the plan, I was determined that I was gonna end up in Nashville, but I didn't, and that's okay. Fell in love, got married, so all good stuff, and it is all a blessing in disguise because my dad and I ended up joining forces. He's been in bands pretty much all his life, all my life. It was kind of a mutual hey, let's do this, and this was 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were thinking just a side hobby thing, maybe 1 gig a month, if that, and it very quickly became a thing. And then now people reach out to us, and
now we're at Broadway Oyster Bar.
now we're the
amazing.
big time. But I have now very grateful, very broke, but I'm very grateful to have been able to kind of push music as my main career, my main focus right now. There's a lot of other craziness supplementing that, but I'm kind of hell-bent on making stuff happen here in St. Louis, because I don't feel like people should have to go to LA or to New York or to Nashville or Memphis to have a career in music.
Sure.
St. Louis is, clearly, as you well know, St. Louis has a very awesome music scene.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen for me, it sure as hell better happen for others, because I know we're all kicking ass. So
there's so many good things happening, so many great studios and engineers and artists, and everybody's working hard, making moves and making things happen. So, I fully support that I think you could make it here, just like anywhere else. The only benefit I feel like to a city like a Nashville, like especially if you're kind of looking into country music, is that the fact that there are pros and cons to it all. The one is everybody's down there trying to make it,
right?
But two, there's also everybody down there trying to make it.
Yeah.
So it's like you can go down there and you can collaborate with all the other type of writers and different players and different and you can also create all sorts of new inspiration and stuff. And so I think there's
Yeah, I want to go there. I still want to do projects down there, and we've performed down there a couple times. But I feel this like strong pull to focus on
Here.
my city.
And that's what's perfect about St. Louis too. It's only a 5-hour drive, so it's like you can go down there for the weekend and come back home and everything else. And so
I want people in other cities to be like, oh my gosh, they're from St. Louis. Whoa.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Put us
St.
on the
Louis is the
map.
place to be. Yeah.
I think we're getting there. I think
I do too.
I did just recently listen to an interview with David Manis of the Manis Brothers, and he was talking about like that moment, like going to other cities and people find out they're from St. Louis. Like, damn, you guys are from St. Louis. Like, just because like they think they're going to be like some tough, badasses or something because they're like, like we have this like reputation.
We
for
do have
being
such a
like
weird reputation.
being like a rough city or whatever. But so I don't know. It was just kind of funny, like that. People don't want to mess with them because they're from St. Louis now.
They think of Cardinals, Blues, top 10 most dangerous cities, and the Arch and the Zoo, and then that's what they think of us.
Yep.
But the music is,
But yeah, there's I'm so proud of like what we have going on here, and I'm like I just between doing the show and stuff, just trying to get the word out because there's so much good stuff. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is just like St. Louis doesn't realize how good St. Louis is. So
yes.
Yep, I agree.
so yeah, we're definitely getting there though. People are starting to take notice, and so it's cool to see. But so when does this start for you though? Like, were you pretty young, starting writing songs, or
Well, my dad always says it started when I was just a baby in the womb. I guess you used to put headphones up to mom's belly.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. So subliminally, you were getting music.
Getting a good, so it was just in the blood. And
what are you playing for? You remember?
A lot of Beatles.
Yeah.
So she grew up on Beatles and Eagles and all the good stuff, I thought. So,
Yeah.
I'm an old soul.
So now she actually does those songs with me, which is kind of neat to have
My
your
first
daughter singing songs that you grew up on. So
Yeah.
that's good.
my first sentence was Beatles music on now, please.
Yes.
I said please.
She said please.
But yeah, I knew what good music was. I still do. So we do a lot as far as cover songs, and when we play out as Duhart, as collectively, as our band, we do a lot of cover songs, and 90% of them are the moldy oldies.
Yeah.
We'll throw in some new stuff, but I appreciate the more classic rock.
But a good question he asks is, when did you really start writing? Because I don't remember when you started writing your first stuff.
I feel like singing well, it's weird to look back because, and it's kind of symbolic of my life right now, but because I'm kind of midlife crisising right now. But I feel like for me, for the majority of my life until the last 2-3 years or so, it was like I was good at and I loved writing, and that was over here. And it was like, poems and stories and whatever. That was my thing. And then I also loved music, and I was a singer, and I did theater and dance and was really active in that growing up. And, I went to college. I went to SEMO for interior design and architecture, which I've never done anything with that. I have no idea why I did that.
A lot of good material.
I was supposed to go for theater and dance, and then I chickened out. But I rearranged the living room sometimes. That's about as far as I get with that. But and professional wise, I've really just kind of skipped around. My interests have been all over the place. So flash forward, it's like it's always been such a big part of my life, but I've kept it all separate. Mm-hmm. And I guess in my mind, I just always thought that it was just hobbies or just for fun. And I didn't really realize until Dad and I started performing, I started kind of connecting the dots and being like, oh, I can write. And I also have this ear and this brain for music. I don't play an instrument, but I hear it all in my head. I hear the arrangement. I have almost perfect pitch, so I can like hum or sing a melody of a song that I wrote in my head, and he'll pick it out on the guitar. So that's kind of our process with some of that.
And she can tell when I'm capoed at the wrong fret of the guitar.
And I'm like, I don't know what note it is, but that's not the right one.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool. Over the past 7-8 years, I've really dove into songwriting. That's just like, I feel like something I was just born to do. It's crazy to sing and perform my own songs and people sing along with them. That's just like insane to me. But yeah, and then flash forward, like I said, the past couple of years, it's weird that I'm figuring out how to connect all of the dots. Yeah. Like, it's okay. Like, I do want to write, and I want to sing, and I want to be in a band, and I want to create and do art. And like, it's okay to do a lot of different things. Sure. And I think that's kind of a big message that I'm trying to portray too, is that.
Well, it probably helps keep everything fresh too,
Yeah.
Like the fact that, you can do cover stuff, you can do your original stuff, you can play out in all these different styles and arrangements and things and stuff. Where, like I said, it doesn't get we're not doing the exact same thing every night. It doesn't get boring.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. I want to always do it and it be fun and never feel like work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think there's a lot to be said to that for sure.
Yeah.
You were saying people singing along, and I'm a huge fan of Will Hogue. I talk about him a lot on this show. But one of my absolute favorite writers, but he told a great story about being at I was at one of his shows, and he was like talking about I don't know if you know much about his career at all, but he wrote a song called "Even If It Breaks Your Heart" that Eli Young Band cut.
Oh yeah, I love that song.
Made a #1 hit single and stuff. And
it was on. That was the opening song to Nashville, the show, wasn't it?
I've never watched Nashville.
What? So. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. You got to.
But I absolutely love the song. Like, I mean, way before Eli Young Band cut it, I was listening to Will's version, and I mean, I don't know. For me, it's like Will's is way better. Like, I mean, he sings it with so much heart, and Eli Young Band version's great. Like, they sing it real pretty, but it doesn't have that feeling that Will has with it when he sings it. So
that's what we want, the feeling when you hear a song.
So, Will, so I've always, I mean, there's a lot of reasons I connect to him, the singer-songwriter, more than maybe a performer does it, so. But either way, Eli Young Band cut it, went #1, and they started talking about wanting to collaborate, do some more writing and stuff. And so Eli Young Band invited Will out on tour while they were opening for Kenny Chesney. And so they're playing these massive arenas and stuff, or whatever, amphitheaters, and 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people or whatever out these shows. And they'd invited Will on to perform, play guitar during a couple of their songs and stuff, and he says, some of his shows, maybe there's only 100 people or something like that, but then he's playing these massive shows with all these people and everybody. So he's like talking about how weird it was for him to be playing guitar and 40,000 people singing his song back to him.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's my dream.
He says he's back there playing guitar like, I wrote this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And just cracked me up.
But that's what's so funny is that's spiraling into something different. I don't mean to cut you off or anything, but we've like really started writing more and doing more originals and stuff, and I'm such a music snob. Like, I'm totally that girl that if I hear something new, that I'm not a big radio person, but I'll find something and be like this girl, I did that with like Kelsey Ballerini. Like, there's like, people that are now super poppy or they're on the radio, but I heard them kind of like what you were saying, and I'll tell my friends about them.
Yeah.
And so I get really excited with that, but it's so interesting when you talk to your friends who don't realize all the writers that are behind the songs.
Oh, yeah.
They just see the image and like the big, and that's just always been really fascinating to me. So
yeah, I mean, there's pretty much anybody on your radio, and not like very seldom are, unless you're like a Taylor Swift who's so prolific, but but a lot of them are just the voice of these songs, and like have a crew that collaborates and makes all these songs for him and stuff, and like
just packaged and tied and given to them, and they get to So,
so that's what I think is great about a place like a Nashville or whatever, where you can get down there and you can get a foot in the door with some of these different things, and be able to write with all sorts of other people that are, and be able to pitch some of these songs, even if you're not going to perform them yourself, but maybe somebody cut one of your songs and stuff, and so, and from what I hear, that's where the money's at. Cause
I'm interested in that.
I heard a great story about Chris Stapleton talking about that, like how he kind of came about, and like how one day he like learned that whole thing, that songwriting was a job, and he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that, and like and of course like went on to co-write like every #1 song on radio before he ever made it as a singer and stuff. But so it was pretty wild what he's done with his career and stuff, with all these great songs he's been a part of and stuff. And, but it's just funny, like the way he's told that story though. Like, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah,
like,
no big deal. No sweat.
Yeah, it turns out he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, so. Just a little.
So, well, I wanted to talk about reason I bring up your songwriting, because there's a song you played for us, and that will appear on your EP that we were teasing at, a song called Porchlight, and I felt I connected a lot to it. I imagine. So I felt you're probably going like kind of through a breakup. That's kind of how I vision it, listen to the song, like, or some kind of like the guy's gone, you're kind of waiting for him to come back.
So when I wrote it, it's weird because it just kind of like poured out of me, and I didn't really think much about like the why, and it was one of those songs I wrote in like 10, 15 minutes, and it just like, bam. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I read through it, I was like, okay, I guess it could be a breakup. It could be somebody passing away. Mm-hmm. Somebody, serving in the military. Just their presence is it's just not there, and it's missed, and it's very like evident. That's kind of where it comes from. So I feel like hopefully people can relate to it in multiple ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just felt like the way I took it as I was listening to it, there was like maybe that whole thing again, like you're waiting for him to come back, maybe or like I said, breakup type of situation. But like you're saying, like I also personally connected to the lyrics myself as my mother passed recently, and like I could relate a lot to the verse in particular where I just want to smile and not think of you all damn day long and stuff, and like because there's a lot of that, like where so all those emotions, all that feeling right there is very similar to what I've been going through. I mean, it's not necessarily the relationship that you're singing about, but it's how I connected to it.
Yeah,
like, and
that's amazing.
That's what's fun about songwriting and storytelling and stuff.
It means something different to everybody.
That's really cool. Yeah.
So I definitely connected a lot to this particular song. So give this one a listen.
you'll come back, no matter who is right or who is wrong. I turn the porch light on. I put your t-shirt on, and I walk around this lonely house, still can't believe you're gone. And I keep thinking you'll come back so we can talk it out, and this will all be done. I put your t-shirt on. Wish I could just move on. I wanna smile again and not think about you all damn day long. And I feel so alone. Don't wanna cry, cry, cry from dusk till dawn. Wish I could just move on. Leaving the light on, wearing your old tee. Guess I'm holding on to what I hoped would be. But time waits for no one, least of all for me. Guess it's now or never. I can't wait forever, yeah. Turn the porch light off. I closed the curtains, locked the door, took your t-shirt off. I just can't wait for you anymore. I climbed the stairs and wiped my tears. I'm ready to move on. I turned the porch light off. I turned the porch light off.
Again, we're shooting for a. This was first I wouldn't say this was just a live acoustic here at Lotown hanging out, and we will have the polished, produced version on the EP coming soon.
Yes.
We're hoping spring, right?
Yes, shooting for spring. I was very fortunate to get some amazing recording done at Gaslight. And then I brought the production, mixing, mastering over to Lenny at Lotown. So we are currently working on that. There will be 5 songs on the EP. And I've been working on this project for like 2 years. So I'm excited to wrap it up and get the songs out there, and hopefully people like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Well, for now, and to keep up with further updates along with this project and everything else, you can... follow Colleen Duhart on your Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
And keep an eye out. New website coming soon, you said?
Brand new website coming soon. And you can also follow Colleen Duhart. I am of our band Duhart. My dad and I, we have a band and we play around St. Louis, all over the place. So you can follow us at Duhart Music.
Yeah.
DuhartMusic.com, and then you can search on social media too.
Yeah. Well, I want to kind of get into that too. Like, so you were saying that Dad played all the time and stuff, and like, but how does that idea come about? Like, hey, there's something here. Like you said you started singing pretty early on, but when does that idea actually come about? Like, we should start trying to book out gigs and do this out live somewhere.
I had gone through a couple, like, back-to-back really shitty breakups. I'd moved from college. I was between jobs. I was just, like, at kind of a low point. And music has always, even though I never really thought that it would be such a big part of my life like it is now, it's always been, you know, a passion of mine and something special to me and very healing. And I wanted, it was like a Miranda Lambert, who, by the way, is, like, one of my idols.
Okay.
There was like a documentary on VH1 or something.
Yeah, where her dad or something was her manager.
Yeah. And he was a big part of.
They played together.
He taught her guitar or something. Yeah. And you don't give yourself enough credit, but I feel like you were the one who planted the seed. You were like, hey, we should do that. And I was like, no, but maybe.
Yeah.
And then just, it was like 2012. We put together just a list of songs that you've always played and that you know, and I figured out which ones that I knew, and kind of started like that.
And we started looking for jobs.
And then it just, I feel like I blinked and now we're here, and it's kind of crazy.
I think, I don't know, I find it really cool and very special that you guys get to, go through this together and stuff, getting to, so like I said, again, I'm not to make it all about me, but like
no, this is all about you. You're awesome. This is your show, man.
But I mentioned my mom, and I used to go once she retired. She had a lot more free time, obviously. And we used to go to a ton of concerts together. So
I always loved seeing your relationship, your stuff.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. So I can imagine you two are having just as much fun performing these shows as we were going to these shows and stuff. So, like I said, it was really just it was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad and I'm thankful that we had that time together in those moments and stuff.
Sure.
So like, so anyway, it's just like I said, it's really cool to see that you guys are getting all the time to hang out and stuff and do the fun things. So
it's kind of a weird language that I feel like no one else has. Like, it's really one of the coolest compliments I feel like we get is when people are like, if they don't know that we're related, and they'll say something about our harmonies, and they'll be like, and how do you guys? And we're like, father, daughter, and they go, that makes sense.
That explains it.
Because I can harmonize or sing along with a lot of other artists and musicians, and I enjoy that, but there's just something about
it's a blending.
It's like I can tell when he, like, I don't know. Yeah, it just fits like creepily. But I do remember when we first started, we got weird backlash. Like, people thought it was like, people made it creepy. And they're like, there was people that would like comment on our website and be like, this is just...
Well, we sing love songs a lot, and people, thought that, that's kind of creepy.
It's creepy that you sing love songs to each other. I'm like, we're not. All songs are love songs. We're not singing to each other. And I think I responded something sassy. It was like, we're totally platonic. Like, you need to go away. But it's interesting. There's people like that who instantly go there, and I'm like, you're weird. That makes you weird, not us. And people who, over the past couple years, as I've kind of been forming my own identity and my own projects apart from, Dad and I, people really pushing me to, create this new image or this whole new, I don't know, another person. So it's easy to distinguish. And I was sort of doing that for a while, and then I kind of took a step back, and that's why I think the past couple of years connecting those dots and midlife crisis have been like, all that has been so hard, because getting back to my roots, I'm like, no, I was Colleen Marie, and that's my middle name, but I'm Colleen Duhart. Like, I'm married. I do have a new last name, but like that's how I'm here. I would not be doing this if it was not for my dad at all. I can't play an instrument. I've tried a bajillion times, but like, that's just such a big part of why I'm doing this at all. And looking back at the past couple of years, just trying to figure out who I am and what kind of artist I want to be, and if I want to be country or pop or whatever. Like, and finally now I'm just kind of like, fuck it. Like, I want to just write and sing and do what I want to do. And my dad is a huge part of my life. Don't make it weird, and don't make it seem like that's like not making me success or like holding me back, because it's not. Like,
I'm glad you didn't change your name.
I feel like the more I step back, like, I'm just it's something that I'm proud of, and I'm going to stick to my guns with, because it is very special.
Yeah, I get it. I fully understand, and like, again, I just think there's a lot of people that don't have that relationship with their parents, and I didn't for a long time. I didn't. There was me and my mom were always cool, and Dad was around, but it's like, But it wasn't until me and Mom really started connecting with music where she was coming around a lot more to a lot. And after she retired, like I said, so she's the one that got me into the music anyway, just like you're
I love
saying.
that.
So like that's why we have so much where we connected on a lot of the same blues and rock and music stuff that we liked. So it was all the same stuff she played that I grew up on. So it was,
It's in our blood.
yeah. So it makes sense that that you two performed the same, like played in the same songs.
Do you play an
and stuff.
instrument?
No, I don't play at all. I'm like Colleen. I've tried and
Yeah.
I can hear.
I've never really applied myself. Really, I probably should do. I can't say I can't fully say I tried. I plucked around on a guitar a little bit. I've never actually taken any lessons or actually, gave it a real try. I remember in middle school, like 6th grade, they have like the open sign up for a band, and I chose cornet for some reason.
Me too.
And I was like,
Why did I do that?
I don't know. So I gave it a shot, and I remember my band instructor saying, at the time we had either PE or band, or something like that, the way the block scheduling was or whatever, something. And they were like, so either you can try really hard or you can go back to PE. And I was like, all right, I'll see you later. And I was like, was much better at football, basketball, and everything. So I was pretty involved in sports all through middle school and high school and stuff. So
But that says a lot about you that you still have that passion for music. Because I look back at all, my more athletic jockey friends. It's not like they had that, they liked music, but they didn't, pursue or, have a very passion for it like you do.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, ever since I was young, I've always, I remember DJing parties. I mean, we called it DJing, but I was just the guy that had the most CDs.
Yes.
So it's just I'd show up with my binder of CDs and
Yes.
putting on. And I remember I remember somebody, of course you're at a high school party and everybody's or middle school, whatever. And they're like, hey, will you play a slow song so we can dance or something? I was like, I'm like, okay. And the only slow song I had, remember, was Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
Oh my gosh.
And so I remember having to play that song 3 times one night because if people wanted to slow dance.
How romantic.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You used to chaperone our mixers and
Nights at Columbus.
yeah, and you'd play all my mixed CDs that were probably not appropriate for 5th and 6th grade, but that's funny.
But yeah, so anyway, I don't know how I got to all that, but
So you didn't buy the cornet, right?
no,
you rented it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did not invest in it.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just it was I enjoyed it because I had a bunch of friends that played, but it was just I don't know. I feel like if it was in me, it would have come out by now.
Yeah.
It's something would have told me, Shane, you need to pick up a guitar and try to play and stuff, and that's just
Yeah.
It's
So-
been timing for me,
Right.
and every time I've attempted, I've had too much going
Well,
on.
and I don't have the patience, so
He can't
Yeah.
teach worth a damn. Yeah. He just yells at me. I'm like, why? I think you just scarred me for life. So I finally accepted, it's just timing.
yeah.
Exactly what you just said. If and when I'm meant to, I will be invested and it will happen. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on
your voice is your instrument.
not with this cold, it's not, but yeah, the writing and the singing, I'll stick with that. I'll let Dad and the professionals do the
Well, luckily there's there's tons of great guitar players out there. So
yes.
there's but yeah. Let's drop in another track you did. That again will appear on the EP, and this one's called "Cold Feet." And you did a nice little YouTube video, kind of teasing that this song, kind of talking about some of the story around it, right?
Yes.
And what do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, this was another song that I wrote and it just kind of flowed out of me. Wrote this with the help of one of our bandmates and dear friends, Steve Krinsky. It was before Jim proposed, and I was not writing it with any expectation of him proposing anytime soon. But between him and he and I, we have a closet full of bridesmaids dresses and suits. I think our wedding was the 51st wedding that we attended together. Whoa. And since then we've been to 10 more. I've been in like 12 weddings. He's been in like 15.
So you're like the movie 27
It
Dresses.
seriously
yeah.
is. Yeah, it is like that. So I think in my head, I was kind of just wanting to write some sort of some sort of song poking fun at marriage and just how everybody is just like, it's time, we got to do it now. Like, because I feel like there's just those like 4 years, everybody was getting married and having babies. And I don't know, the cold feet idea just kind of came to me, and I wanted it to be kind of a fun, dancey, sassy song. And that's been one that a lot of our friends and family and fans, whatever, have really latched onto.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited for it to come to life on the EP.
Nice.
Hey.
2, 3, 4.
Hey.
We already bought the rings. We already wrote the vow.
Hey.
We already booked the church. What do we do now?
Hey.
Now you're having second thoughts, unsure of settling down.
Hey.
Well, your timing is impeccable, yeah, what do we do now? If you got cold feet, put socks on, you ought to know by now. If I'm the one, I ain't gonna be second best, and you don't get to second guess. So if you got cold feet, put socks on.
Hey.
Is it marriage you're afraid of, or is there someone else?
Hey.
I've never been the pushy type or caused you any stress.
Hey.
I see you fidgeting, fiddling, you're breaking into a sweat.
Hey.
You're looking at the door, and we ain't even started yet. If you got cold feet, put socks on, you ought to know by now. If I'm the one, I ain't gonna be second best, and you don't get to second guess. If you got cold feet, put socks on. Everything is lined up, you better make your mind up, or this is gonna wind up one big ugly mess. Hey! 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey.
We passed the point of no return, and this ain't no free trial.
Hey.
Time to man up, pull those socks up, and walk me down the aisle. Walk me down this aisle. If you got cold feet, put socks on. You ought to know by now. If I'm the one, I ain't gonna be second best, and you don't get to second guess. If you got cold feet, put socks on. If you got cold feet, put your socks on.
Go to all the weddings like that, like you were saying, but we I feel like there was a lot of that too, like where we were kind of going in my relationship with my wife Stacy, like where we were going through, we dated for 4.5 years before I proposed, and you go just like there was a lot of pressure where people were like,
much.
when are you guys gonna get married, when are you gonna have babies, when are you gonna, it's like I was like, hey, wait, well, slow down, like why can't we just have fun, like
Right.
So you just like, but there's I don't know why people like they just ask. I don't know if I don't know if they don't realize what they're saying. They just say just something to talk about, small talk or whatever. But it just like, but it's literally like all people ever say when you're in that time period, and like stuff. And
Yeah.
but there was anyway. So there was a lot of that, and like where I'm like putting it off, proposing and stuff, and then like I got to the point where I was like, where she kind of was like wanting to get married, and I'm like, well, like,
So did you have cold feet?
I didn't have cold feet, but it was just like, but I was like, I wanted it to be a surprise. So like every time we talk about it, it's like, it's not, I'm not going to like do it right then. When, so it's like, I kept like wanting it to be a complete surprise whenever it happened and stuff. So it's like, so eventually she stopped asking about it, and then I,
Then you have to reward that.
yeah, right. So
Thanks for not asking. Here's the ring.
so, I proposed at the pageant, and it was during Chris Cagle's "What a Beautiful Day." So when he's singing about that song, and then so anyway, because I felt that we connected to a lot to story that he shares in that song and stuff. So it was pretty appropriate, and I felt like the plan was, then I don't have any, like, I can't, like, that's my cue. Like, I knew, like, if I have a moment, like, I can't get scared and back out of it or anything. Like, I was like,
oh my gosh.
So then I was like, I asked her to dance, and then
Guys do have all that pressure.
Yeah.
It's pretty
romantic.
That is really,
man.
really cool.
Yeah.
It was fun, and then we got to meet Chris that night too. So that was it was fun to go back and tell him our story. And
is that who sings "Dance Baby Dance"?
yeah, that's great.
We danced to that at my wedding.
Yeah,
that was
such a good song too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good ones.
That's really neat.
But anyway, so that's my little version of Cold Feet story. Like,
I love it.
It's not quite Cold Feet, but it's a similar.
They were like
similarities in there.
Mildly chilly feet.
All right.
Then they warmed up.
All right. But that's the guy version of your story.
Yeah.
I got to head represent for the other side of the But no, again, this is just a fun song, and I like it a lot, and I'm excited to hear the finished product and stuff.
Too.
So, but that again, we're looking at spring, so keep your eyes open, and then for some more details coming soon. I'm sure we'll have some big party and all that fun stuff.
Yes, I'm plotting as we speak.
Yeah. Well, you did want to talk about another project. We kind of got a little bit into it off mic, and I was intrigued to learn a little bit more about this. But this is a project called "This Is My Brave."
Yes.
And how'd you get connected with this?
A dear friend of mine. She knows. Just a brief synopsis. I'm very, very transparent, open. I've, kind of struggled a little bit with anxiety and ADHD and depression in the past. I'm all about, the stigma and making sure it's more normalized so that people can have the discussion about it. I've really come into my own, and I've been able to really use that to my advantage. I know that if I didn't go through some of the stuff I have or I do on a daily basis, then I wouldn't have the creative mind that I do. I wouldn't be able to write or tell these stories that I'm now finding out are resonating with people. And that's huge to me. I'm a big, do-gooder. I'm a lover. I want to help everybody. I just feel like that's a big reason why I'm here, is to use art and creativity and music to make the world better. So my friend Lauren knows that about me, and she shares some similar experiences. She reached out and said that she had heard about this organization and she was going to be getting involved. It's called This Is My Brave, kind of a friend of a friend sort of thing. They have put on shows all over the country. Their mission is right in line with what I was just explaining, is to, really celebrate those who have either are struggling or have struggled with mental, emotional illnesses, and kind of give them a opportunity or a platform to, really channel what they've gone through into the performing arts. So singing and writing or songwriting. I know some people do comedy, or a skit, or, just anything to, I guess, kind of tell their story or an experience. Again, all about just, normalizing it, starting the conversation, really showing that people can use art and creativity and music and all of that to overcome. So it's all really, really cool stuff. Anyway, I could go on and on about how amazing it is. But so I hear that this organization exists. I'm like, what? Then I hear that they are doing their first show in St. Louis. And Lauren's friend Katie now is part of that organization, and she is helping to put on the show on April 16th. April 16th. It's a Thursday. They recently held auditions for the St. Louis area. I know there are lots of people just kind of in our music world, in our circle, who are involved and going to be performing. So that's really, really cool. So yeah, I think that there's a ton of awesome St. Louisans who it's cool to know that we're all kind of like coming together and celebrating our talents and showing the world that like we can do cool stuff despite challenges. So it's just really, really neat organization and
the places to be determined.
Places to be determined. Oh, and I guess the point of all of that, I ramble, but we auditioned. I got in, so I'm really excited. I'm gonna be reading a poem, and it will be going into an original song that's not on the EP.
Okay.
It's another one that I have written, and I'm really excited to be a part of that.
Yeah.
It's very special.
So I guess there's anybody that wants some more information. I'm guessing the website's got a bunch of different...
Yes. So if you search This Is My Brave, you'll find a bunch of stuff. I believe that there is a Facebook event now that has a link to buy tickets. I think it's $10. And I don't know. I don't think that they've determined the place, but I know that, right now they're just spreading the word about it. I know they're looking for sponsors and just people to attend and to support. But yeah, it's going to be really, really cool.
Nice. Yeah.
And I'm honored to be a part of that.
For sure. Yeah, that sounds really great. I'll have to take a look at that because I think that's, I don't know. I imagine there's a lot of that kind of power and that to where not, not succumbing to whatever difficulties that a person might have and taking that power back by putting it into a song or whatever and and opening it up and discussing and even just talking about it on a podcast or whatever it is, it's like, this doesn't define me. This is, so.
Exactly. It's super healing, all of it. And I didn't realize it's always been healing for me to write or to listen to music or to sing. But I really do believe that there's power in putting into words things that other people might feel or have experienced that they don't know how to put into words.
Sure.
Or just for somebody to have that comfort knowing that they're not alone, that somebody else has gone through the same thing.
That's my favorite part, again, as a fan listening to music and then like hearing a song and that I'm like, man, that's my story. That's exactly what I went through. So it's like, that's the best part is like, when you connect to a person on that level and stuff where you feel like they're telling your story and stuff.
Yep.
So, but very nice. We'll keep an eye out. Again, that's be April 16th in the St. Louis area. So everything else you can find at Duhart Music. You can find and then the new Colleen Duhart website coming soon. So keep an eye out. I did want to ask a couple of questions. I've been having a lot of fun with these. Just a little more kind of open-ended, rapid-fire type of discussion questions. And you both can answer. This is, what song always gets stuck in your head?
Ooh.
Well,
for me, it's like changes daily, but do you have one that...
I always have a million songs in my head at any given moment. You go first.
Yes. Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But it's not, because I feel like...
Well, it's just when I put you on the spot, you know, then you got to think of it like...
Yeah.
But then like tonight you'll just be like sitting at home and like, just humming along with whatever song and stuff probably.
Yeah.
Right now I feel like... I know. I'm such a music mutt.
I think you should turn it back to him and see what's your favorite song or what song.
Oh, I know the answer to this. Yeah. Anything from Wicked.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm constantly humming.
Wow.
Like Defying Gravity.
I wouldn't have guessed that. Yeah.
That or like my iTunes like library goes from that to like Miranda Lambert to Cardi B.
Oh yeah.
To like it's all over the place. So But yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Wicked musical nerd here.
There it is. What's a song you wish you wrote?
Ooh.
Is there anybody that has wrote that song that you're like, had that connection with it? Do you think this is my story or
So
anything like that?
many.
One of mine would be "Best of My Love" by the Eagles.
Yeah. Great song. Man, I just watched that Linda Ronstadt
I heard that was really good.
Yeah, and they were. Yeah. I didn't realize, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I knew of her, I knew of the Eagles, but I just didn't realize how much of that was going on at all the same time.
Right.
But that Don Henley played in her band for
Right.
quite a while, and then he met Glenn Frey through that, and then they decided like we should do our own thing with the Eagles, and then they went on to do, it's like, anyway, it's just kind of crazy that they're all like hanging out, like all these great musicians were all in the same circle of friends and stuff, and so yeah.
I think this is probably kind of an obvious one, but the first song that comes to my mind is Landslide. I mean, everybody loves that song, but like it's so simple but powerful. Like you get it. Like
Sure.
you just, yeah.
Well, I
love that.
Was it the Fleetwood Mac first, or did you get the Dixie Chicks first?
Oh, Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah. 'Cause
I like the Dixie Chicks version, but not always the Fleetwood Mac.
I didn't know
Stevie's my girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured probably be the case, but there's a lot of people that, especially in country, know more of the
Right.
Dixie Chicks version and stuff. So
We kind of blend a bunch of different
Yeah.
versions in our version.
right. What's a dream duet or collaboration? Have anybody you'd really love to work with?
What?
I figured you'd say Don Henley right off the bat.
Yeah, Don Henley. Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
They call him Dean Henley. And by they, I mean I. But
He's like I'm amazed by him, and I mean, there's obviously Phil Collins too. Drum, sang, and like all at the same time, like all the stuff. Like I feel like it's very impressive. Both feet going, both hands going, and singing. And
Yeah.
it's like
You're just
John
blind.
Mayer.
John Mayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
I feel like he's just been relevant. I don't want to compare it to the Beatles, but like he's stayed relevant through so many like changes in music, and he's still super.
And he's carrying on the torch with Grateful.
with Dead
So,
and Co.
Sure.
I feel, and like he stays like true to his sound, but it's still I think, and his songwriting is just killer.
Yeah.
I think that's my answer.
I talk about him a lot. Like I'm not like some super huge fan. I really appreciate what he does, but the fact that like he is a great example of a guy that's transcended through multiple different genres, and maintained a fan base through the whole thing,
And it all works.
right?
Yeah,
So,
it's not like
I mean, he went from playing your cheesy pop stuff, and then to the stripped down some blues, and then to Americana, to Dead and everything. It's like it's just really nuts what he's able to do, and it's all still John Mayer, like you're saying.
And
so.
he's just the talent. Like when you watch just him in the zone, just playing guitar, you're like, whoa, he's just on a whole nother level.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a very talented guy for sure, and funny. I talk about he's the stuff he did on a Chappelle show and stuff like that. Like he's very funny too.
Yeah.
Like, so it's nice to see that he's got the personality to go with it.
Yep.
All.
Yeah.
So. Is there do either of you do any celebrity impressions?
Not celebrity impressions, but I'm really good at the Grinch like when he's little, when he goes, "Oh Martha, oh Christmas," and I can do
pretty good.
Nemo voices too. I won't do that, but
Yeah.
what about you?
I'm not gonna compete with that.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. Okay,
Yeah. No impressions here.
you do. I feel like you do. You're being shy. What about you?
I don't feel like I do truly impressions, but I'm able to like just mimic things. I think like especially when I hear different singers like voices on their when they're singing and stuff. Like I feel like I can match their singing
Yes.
pretty well. Like just mimic their voices. Like, but it's not like I don't feel like I can just do it on the spot. Like if you just said, hey, do that voice or whatever, like I'm not really good at that. But if I just heard the song, then I'll be able to repeat it back to you and stuff or something like that. Or different, whatever. I don't know. So, but I feel like, like SNL, like those guys are able to get into that character and maintain that impression and whatever, other sorts of shows, but they can stay in that character and do all these voices over and over and make up new dialogue and everything. And I can't do any of that. Like, so.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I feel like you and I sometimes get caught up in trying to sound like the covers.
Exactly like the covers, yeah. Yeah, I do.
But, and I think that's another thing that's cool about original songs is because you're like, oh shit, this is my, like, what do I want to sound like?
Yeah.
And you have to blend it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have a movie or a TV show that you wish you were in? And that, I mean, you could replace a character or be a part of a cast or something. I don't know if there's any.
Nashville, Friends, or Gossip Girl. All of the above.
Yeah.
Those are my jam.
Now, if you were in Friends, would you just be a seventh friend on the show?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm
just hanging out at the coffee perk.
Yeah, because I'm like all of them in a way. There's not one that I'm probably Phoebe because I'm really weird, and I have her guitar playing skills. So
I like Groundhog Day. I think I could.
Oh God, yeah,
I could play off of Bill Murray pretty
totally
good.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I was talking about Bill just last night actually about I recently watched Space Jam again.
Great flick.
Oh yeah. But I don't know why, but like we bought the DVD like a long time ago, and I just never got around to actually watching the DVD version of it. But what it was, I went to a party, and I think my buddy watched it, and he got to talking about it, and he was talking about laughing so hard at that line when they go to Monstar Mountain or whatever at the theme park, and then the little kid's like, "Don't bring me here anymore, right?"
I need to watch that now.
So there's that, like, he was laughing so hard at that line just because, like, he thought it was the funniest thing. And so we got to talking about that, and then so I was like, I got to go watch it now. So we sat down and watched it. Anyway, but Bill Murray was cracking me up, and there was, like, when he's talking to Michael Jordan on the golf course about, like, now that the NBA is missing all these guys, like, you think I got a chance, think I could, and all stuff. Like, it was just classic Bill Murray trying to, so it was, and then, of course, he plays the, like, 10 seconds or 15 seconds of that game, and then he's like, that's it, I'm retiring, I'm going, going out on top. And,
oh, my God.
So, good movie for sure.
That's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Which I hear they're supposed to be doing a sequel with LeBron.
Oh.
And I don't know, like maybe next year or something like that. I don't know when it's supposed to be coming out. But
all right, I'm into that.
Yeah, it could be entertaining.
Yeah.
But Michael was so good in the first one.
No
It'd be weird to think about him not being in the sequel. But
yeah,
I don't know, LeBron would be fun though.
That would be fun. Yeah, I hope they do that.
Yep.
It's your chance to your dance.
Oh yeah.
The Space Jam.
The soundtrack. That's where it's at.
Yes.
That's such a great soundtrack. That I would spend a lot of time hooping it up in the driveway with my buddy Sean, cranking that up. And there's so many good. That and the jock jams, like we were just like those. We'd have those going all the time, and all those different songs on there.
There it is.
Yep. Oh yeah. So it was good times. Is there? Do you have a strangest fear? Anything come to mind?
Odd numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say fear, but I get really, like, anxious. So, like, volumes or dates. I'm like, it doesn't like dictate my life, but I just get uncomfortable. Like I would much rather it be like a prime number, like
An even number.
5s or even number.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if I'm in a situation that I can't, like if I'm in the backseat of a car and it's not somebody I know, that I can be like, can you change it from 17 to 18? Like I have to repeat my birthday over and over in my head, 4288, until I'm like okay with it. It's super weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why? How do you find that your birthday was the like helps?
I don't know.
Because it's 4 even numbers, or
Yeah, and I like that 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times 4, 8. It's just, yeah.
Huh.
And my brain is really weird. I've just always liked that that's my birthday.
I recently
very even.
I recently saw a meme that was like pretty much that conversation was like, I forget what the math equation was, but it was like how normal people do math, and then how like people with ADD like do math, and how like it's like way complicated, but it's like it's still got the same answer, but it's like it's just how.
Yeah.
So it was like
I'm a wordsmith. I don't math. That's why I'm scared of numbers, I
But
guess.
yeah, like it was just like, I mean, when I read that though, I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I totally get that, because like I have a lot of similar tendencies to do that, like.
Yeah.
So.
I've gotten better. I used to get really like.
Yeah. Break out in hives.
I really would. I just got itchy thinking about it. What's yours?
I don't have one. I don't.
Yes, you're being so shocked. You're making me answer. Be the weird one.
Do you have anything that you've tried but will never do again?
Oh.
Any skydiving or anything like that, or any?
Oh, I wish. No, I mean,
Me and your mom did the.
I like trying
whatchamacallit,
a lot of.
What is that?
Would you?
The ski. What do you call that thing where you hang and you glide across the?
Shit.
I don't think I would do
In
that.
the
again.
trees.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And you
what is
hang
it
on to
called?
the bars, and you go gliding through the trees. We did that, and
Oh, zip line.
Zip line, yeah.
Jesus.
yeah.
You wouldn't do it again?
I don't know if I would.
Didn't
or
you
not.
guys? You guys like hurt for like 2 weeks after.
It was fun.
I love change. I love trying new things. I don't know if there's anything that I'd ever like. Oh, no, I lied. I effing hated skiing.
Yeah.
I hated it. It was at Hidden
Water skiing?
Valley.
Or
No, I
snow
loved
skiing?
water
Oh,
skiing.
snow skiing. Okay.
Snow skiing. I don't know if it's just because we happened to go on like the coldest day of the year ever, and it was like negative 15 degrees, and so it wasn't even snow. What is that? It's Hidden Valley? Is that
Yeah.
like it was just a sheet of ice?
It's just ice balls. Yeah.
I ate shit so many times. I couldn't walk for 3 days. Like it was, and I was like snotting everywhere, and like my eyelashes were icicles, and it was like, and I like winter, I like snow, but that experience, I couldn't stand. I couldn't even stand and enjoy my beer. Like I just kept falling.
Did Jim like
this
it?
is horrible. I couldn't pee because I had so many layers on. It was stupid. I don't know how people do that.
I just immediately went to that scene in Dumb and Dumber where
Yeah.
they frozen together and
Yes.
got a little chili going through. Good.
There's like the it wasn't like the highest peak thing that you went down. It was like
The
the
mid.
mid one.
Yeah.
And my whole group and my husband, they're like, yeah, like we'll totally conquer that. And so they go and they hold the rope that's supposed to like pull you up. They all get up there. I couldn't even hold on to the rope because I kept falling. So my gloves were like soaked, and so they were ice. So the rope was ice, and so I just kept sliding back down and like knocking all the people behind me down. Like dominoes, and I'm just like, fuck it, like I'll wait down here and cheer you guys on.
Right.
Like I couldn't even get up to the top, and I wasn't even like skiing.
That's why I just stay on the tubes. I take
I
the
should have done that.
tubing is way more fun.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to get my money's worth, but this is just obnoxious.
Yeah, I don't do well on like any of that skiing, skating. skateboarding.
What about ice skating?
No,
nothing?
I don't do well on any of that stuff. So I just stay on the ground.
Yeah.
My wife did, I think it was her 30th birthday. They did, went to the Great Skate and got roller skates and all that. And she loved it, but I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
It was like
I just feel old doing things, moving at all.
Well, a lot of it also, and we're 16, so it's like even hard to even like go in there and just walk in and get a pair of rental skates. At my size or something like that, different things. So it's like not even going to bother. Yeah. So, well, very nice. Well, this has been a ton of fun. I really appreciate you two taking some time to hang out and talk with me.
We appreciate you and all that you do. Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I'm super pumped to see and hear this new EP and hear some more of these songs and some more of your songwriting.
Thank you.
So keep an eye out again for that coming this spring, and get involved with everything else at duhartmusic.com.
Yeah.
And again, big shout out to Lenny and Lotown Studios again for letting us hang here today. So I will talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Thanks
everybody.
Bye.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.